Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, picture this. We're stepping right into a fast-paced, high-stakes business emergency room. You can almost hear the monitors beeping, right? The stretchers are literally rolling in as we speak, and we have 10 critical patients incoming. And look, these aren't your typical internal failures, no. These are 10 external, macroeconomic pathogens that are actively reshaping the ground beneath every single Singapore SME. 10 macroeconomic storms are here, so let's start triage. And hey, we're completely skipping the pleasantries today. In fact, we're strictly bypassing any introductory explanations of the clinical methodology, the 8 pillars, or the 5 phases. We simply don't have the time. We're diving straight into diagnosing the external pathogens threatening businesses right this second. For every single pathogen that comes through our doors, we're going to immediately identify exactly which structural pillars of the business it attacks, and then administer the specific digital apps and centers of excellence required to treat it. Let's get to work. Okay, let's dive right into this. Ward 1, Border and Trade Disruptions. Storm number 1 is the RTS link and the Johor pull. Think about it. When a passenger can hop on a train for just 5 minutes across the straits to a special economic zone with, a fraction of the operating costs, that Singapore location premium suddenly feels way less like a protective moat and a lot more like a millstone. This external shock immediately and severely attacks Pillar 2, operational excellence, Pillar 4, business model innovation, and Pillar 8, transformation and turnaround. To stop the bleeding, our immediate prescription is highly structural. We're initiating interventions at changemanagementcenter.com, running a survival simulation at turnaroundgame.org, and administering full rehabilitation over at transformationcenter.com. Moving swiftly to Storm 2, the Chinese FNB Wave, we're seeing a literal tidal wave of incredibly deep-pocketed competitors just flooding the market. This pathogen directly compromises Pillar 4, business model innovation, Pillar 5, trust in relationships, and Pillar 6, market repositioning. To treat this, listen to me. You can't just discount your prices. That is a race to the bottom. Instead, we're deploying strategicallianceadvisory.org to evaluate partnerships, businessmodelcenter.com to premiumize the offering, and mergeracquisitioncenter.com to aggressively secure your market posture. Our third patient in this ward is reeling from Storm 3, rising protectionism. Sudden tariffs and drastically redrawn trade maps, they hit export-dependent SMEs completely without warning. It's a massive trauma to Pillar 6, market repositioning, Pillar 4, business model innovation, and Pillar 1, financial health. The immediate remedy here? Well, we direct the patient to strategicallianceadvisory.org to urgently evaluate alliance-based market entries. And absolutely crucially, we deploy businessmodeladvisory.org to elevate the entire model up the value chain. Because when you shift from a fragile price-based model to a highly differentiated value-based one, those tariffs sting a whole lot less. And this brilliantly illustrates the master matrix triage board for Storms 1 through 5. It's a great reminder that the digital AI framework diagnoses these external pathogens completely objectively. The system flags the pillars, it provides a rigorous baseline, and routes you to the precise hubs. Then, human experts step in to actually implement the fix. All right, let's transition rapidly into our next area. Brace yourselves. Ward 2, inflation and cost crises. We're actually going to group these next 2 storms together to maintain our rapid ER pace. Storm 4 is the geopolitical inflation shock. So think Red Sea surcharges and risk premiums, just bleeding out your margins overnight. This is a direct hit to Pillar 1, financial health, Pillar 2, operational excellence, and Pillar 5, trust. We are prescribing immediate cash flow triage at cashflowadvisory.org and fiscaladvisory.org. Right next to it, we've got Storm 5, the high cost of doing business. This brutal structural cost environment aggressively attacks Pillar 1, Pillar 2, and Pillar 7, digital and AI. To treat this complete absence of cost discipline, we need zero-based cost surgery immediately via accountingfinancialcenter.com and productivity restoration at changemanagementadvisory.org. Our motto here, stop the bleeding first, ask questions later. Let's move on and see how this builds. Welcome to Ward 3, Tech and Manpower Shifts. Storm 6 is the manpower crunch and the aging workforce. When your core operational memory is retiring and you just cannot hire replacements, it directly attacks the very heart of the business. Pillar 3, leadership and culture, along with Pillar 2 and Pillar 7. To stabilize this patient, we prescribe heavy doses of culture and succession planning. Head directly to corporateculturecenter.com, cultureadvisory.org, and successionadvisor.org to aggressively redesign jobs and benchmark your silver workforce. The patient right next door is suffering from Storm 7 AI and digital disruption. Generative AI automating your core services at a tenth of your price causes a total nervous system shock. It violently strikes Pillar 7, digital and AI, right alongside Pillar 4 and Pillar 3. We require immediate, aggressive intervention here to defend your trusted core. So we're prescribing an honest exposure scan at the digitalaiadvisory.org Quick Pulse, followed immediately by deep dives at digitalaicenter.com and businessmodelcenter.com. Now, what's really interesting about this master matrix triage board for storms 6 through 10 is how it shows that while the external challenges are totally distinct, the systemic response, routing through specific pillars to specialized hubs, keeps the chaos completely manageable. Keep this overarching diagnostic system in your mind as we prep for our final, and honestly, perhaps most existential, patients. Pushing into the final ER ward now with extreme urgency. Ward 4, Credit, Succession, and ESG. Let's hit these two hard and fast. Storm 8 is tightening credit. When banks suddenly shrink their SME risk appetite, it suffocates your cash flow bloodstream, severely impacting Pillar 1, financial health, and Pillar 5, trust. We direct you to the financial hubs immediately: accountingfinancialcenter.com, fiscaladvisory.org, and cashflowadvisory.org to run distress models and rebuild that crucial lender trust. Right beside it is Storm 9, the founder retirement wave. An aging founder with no clear successor threatens the very leadership structure of the firm, hitting Pillar 3, Pillar 8, and Pillar 6. We treat this with urgent, heavy doses of successionadvisory.org and mergeracquisitioncenter.com to stress test your exit readiness before it is way too late. Finally, we need to diagnose our last patient, who just got hit by Storm 10, ESG, and sustainability pressure. Make no mistake, folks, ESG is not just a compliance form you casually fill out. It is a business model to exploit, or, trust me, it will exploit you. This external mandate attacks Pillar 4, business model innovation, Pillar 7, digital and AI, and Pillar 1, financial health. It requires immediate baseline measurement and reframing. We're prescribing immediate triage via businessmodelcenter.com, businessmodeladvisory.org, and digitalaicenter.com to track the data and radically lower your capital costs. So what does this all mean? The absolute crucial takeaway here is that you cannot control the pathogen, but the pre-existing condition, that is entirely yours to treat. We've cleared the ER for now, but the storms are still raging outside. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative question. Which storm is currently hitting your business? No, seriously, don't wait for a full-blown crisis. Enter the ER front desk, take the quick pulse, and get your diagnosis before your pre-existing condition meets the external pathogen. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay resilient out there and start your triage today.